Today I'll be talking about the basics of the command line, and the command line is, I would consider it to be this right here, kind of like this line if you want it to be that, and then so the command line is inside of a terminal, which right now we're inside of the bash terminal, which is stands for Born Again Shell, and it's just a Unix shell. And a shell is it's a interface for your operating system, and it's different than the graphical interface that you're used to, like over here. Like here's the file systems, and it's all graphical. You use a mouse to click on things, and you can delete things by right clicking, and it's all graphical, whereas a terminal it uses commands, like typed commands. And so now I'm going to go over just basic commands. So this terminal was opened, and so now we're inside like the file system of the computer, and if we type in pwd, which is print working directory, and we push enter, we can see right here which directory we're in, which is users.administrator. And if we want to see all the files and the folders that are in that directory, we can push ls, which stands for list, and so these are all the files that are folders and files that are in the directory. So we can see that graphically if we go over here. So first emac, applications, Dropbox, right? So there you can see how it displays the things. And so now if we want to change into a different directory, we can do cd and then the directory that we want to change into, and I'll change into coding. So now you can see if I pwd, you can see that now we're in users administrator coding. And if let's say I made a mistake and I want to go back, I can do cd ... which just stands for go back a directory. So now you can see if you pwd that you're in users administrator, so you're back to where you started. But let's go into coding, right? So we'll list, and now I'll show you how to move a file, or basically just rename a file. So I'll go into a folder with a file, and so now we can see the files and folders in that directory. And so we'll change user.rb to something else. So we'll just do user.rb. We'll change it to blah.rb. But we have to put mv, which stands for move, in front of it. So then move, first argument is the file you want to move or change, and then the second argument is what you want to change it to. So now if we list, we'll see user.rb is no longer there, but blah.rb is there, and it's the same file as user.rb, but now it's just changed. So now we'll go back to the coding directory, see everything that's in there, and now we'll make a directory. So mk directory, and then the name of the directory that you want it to be. So I'll say square root, because I'm going to make a couple programs that do the square root. So if we ls, we can see that square root has been made, and to see that graphically, we can go here and we can see square root is there. So now if we cd into the square root directory, now we're going to make a couple files, and you can make a file with the command touch, and then the names of the files that you want to make, and you can make more than one. I'm going to make more than one. I'm going to make square root.c and square root.rb. So if I do that, you can see that now square root.c and square root.rb have been made. And so let's make those files. Let's make those programs real quick. So we'll do, and I'll just copy and paste these. Alright, so now I'll do the RB one. And from the terminal command line, you can compile a C program with CC, and then the name of the program you want to compile, and then that, and then the name of the compiled folder you want it to be. So I'll just do square root big C. And maybe I made a mistake, but nope. And so over here is, this is the now compiled C program. And if we list the files, we can see all of these, which are white, are not executable, but the square root C one is. And we can see that more visually if we ls.l, and then we can do a wildcard, which will show all the files in the folder. And so if we focus on this showcases the R stands for read, W stands for write, and X stands for executable. And so here we can see that this one has X's, and so that means it's executable. And there's a command called change mod, which allows you to add and subtract reading rights and writing rights and executable rights of folders. So now if I change, and a minus means subtract or get rid of, and a plus means add. So if I do minus x to the square root C, and now I do the list.l, all of them again, we will see that the square root C program lost its executable rights. And to do that, to show that what that does, I will run the compiled C program, and there you can see it outputted the square root of 100. And now let's try to run the Ruby. And it says permission denied. And that's because if you look up here and you look at the executable rights of the programs, you'll see that RB doesn't have executable rights. So we can add executable rights by add x to square root.rb. And now if we look at them all again, we will see that square root.rb, it's a different color, and it has these x's, which means it's executable. So yeah, so now if I try to run it, oh shit, yeah, no, should. I don't know why I did that. Oh, there's nothing there. Okay, I'm just learning how to use, I shouldn't be using this Vim thing because I don't really understand it. Alright, wow. Let's be super duper slow, huh? Right, so now, let's see. Okay, so let's run square root.rb and so now it runs. And right, so let's look at how to remove a file. So if we list the files, let's say I don't know what that RB file is, that seems to be nothing, so let's remove it with rm. So now if I list RB is no longer there, and it's no longer up there either. And so we can go over how to look over long like text files, and I will cd into this file, which I believe has a Christmas Carol, the book, like textually, and so you can use cat, and cat just not really sure what it stands for, but it just it prints the whole file, and so there you can see it printed the whole A Christmas Carol book. And there's other ones you can use, like less, which goes through the text a page at a time. So and you can use page down or page up to go one page up, one page down, or space you can also use, and then just Q to quit. And then there's also from the command line you can push help, which just shows you gives you help if you need. It shows you commands like, you know, print working directory, and cd. It shows the commands that you can do. And so that's the command line. Thank you for watching.